Hey guys, Daniel Gorley here with Worship Probs, and I am joined by my friend, Mr. Brian Tabor.
What is up?
What is up, Brian? We are here for another episode of Worship Karaoke. And guys, you know what that means. That means we've got music, we're in a car, we're on the open road, and we have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
Brian, are you excited?
I am. I'm pumped.
Yeah, this guy is, he's known in some circles. Brian, what is he known as?
Big boy voice.
Big boy voice. Now,
and it's big.
And is it a cannon?
It is a cannon.
A cannon.
Yes.
All right.
A howitzer.
A howitzer.
Yeah.
All right. We have specified the type of cannon. I'm excited. It's going to be great. But before we get into our guest, we have some amazing sponsors. So let's check in with them now. Hey guys, this episode of Worship Karaoke is sponsored by the amazing guys at Allen Heath. Allen Heath is makers of some of the best digital audio consoles in the entire world, and that includes their new Avantis. They have both the Avantis Duo and the Avantis Solo. They are amazing consoles. They are 64 by 42 consoles, meaning you have 64 inputs, 42 outputs, and those consoles can connect to their I/O everything, all of their snake boxes, all of their different output boxes and devices. And also one of the great things about Allen Heath is that you can interconnect all of their audio consoles from their SQ series to the Avantis to even their flagship D-Live console system. So if you're looking for an amazing audio console, hit up the team at Allen Heath. Check out their Avantis Solo and their Avantis Duo consoles today. You can check out the link in our bio for more details. Hey guys, this episode's also sponsored by the amazing team at Church Visuals. These guys are awesome. As a ministry leader, you want to save tons of time and look amazing at the same time, but it's about more than that when it comes to connecting graphics and video. It's about visually communicating that lives are changed. Visuals are tools to see salvation and spiritual growth at your church, and that's what the team at Church Visuals is all about. Their work has impacted the entire world. They work with some of the largest brands in ministry, from Outreach to Awana to Answers in Genesis, Tithely, and many, many more. Their massive ready-made library of 40,000 plus ready-made visuals is available to you, and you can pull them in instantly. You can't even get a part-time employee for the cost of $299 a month, but they do it for you, and they're amazing. These guys nail it. Churchvisuals.com is their website, so go check them out. Church Visuals is the best. All right, so we're back, and Brian, I think I see our guest. Brian, do you want to introduce us? Who is our guest?
Yeah, so I've known this guy since I was in college, and he actually sang at our wedding almost 29 years ago. So I'm thrilled to have him on here. Welcome, Clint Dunn.
Clint Dunn. Welcome to Worship Karaoke, sir.
Good to see you,
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Awesome.
What a
I was
treat.
just telling the people, I met you when I was in college. You sang in our wedding.
He was aging you
This
because
is
he
a long
said
time deal, man.
29 years ago.
Late 1900s.
That, you know what? It's funny you say that. So somebody said that to me, and it just absolutely irked me. It was like on a TikTok video, and they're like, "Oh, you were born in the 1900s,"
That's
and
right.
I'm like, "Seriously, the 1900s? Like, I just want to smack you."
Yeah. Oh, no.
So-
We are seasoned.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Well seasoned.
Well
like a
seasoned.
fine wine.
Oh,
Well,
man.
pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you. You guys have been such a blessing
Aw,
to the church and to all of us out there in the trenches. So
give it
appreciate
about a half hour.
We'll see how is that small letters or is that capitals?
Okay, Clint, you are the worship pastor at a church that is very special to my heart.
sure
It's where I
is.
started my ministry. It's where Kim and I got married. It's Church at the Crossing in
Yes.
Indianapolis. How long have you been here?
I'll be starting my 13th year.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're
Thinking
doubling
of-
me up, man.
Thinking of making it your permanent home here, or-
Well, I kind of commit.
Okay.
And, it's I don't know. For me in ministry, I see so many quick turnovers. You know.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a little bit of a season to like get to experience the seeds that you planted. So
Absolutely.
I really enjoy the after the 4 or 5 years, watching things and seeing things grow and change because of the work you invested. So I'm kind of a lifer when it comes.
There really is something special.
Now this is fun. We're driving in Indianapolis, and Brian, I just hit a dead end, so I got to do a little U-turn. This is the fun of karaoke.
We do the same thing in worship ministry. You know,
All
you
right,
hit a dead end, and you start over.
You adapt and you make it happen. No, you're fine. I'll take the embarrassment.
You know, you miss the ball, you pick up and swing again.
All right, sorry. You were going to say something just prophetic.
I just think that's not prophetic.
No, okay.
But what I've witnessed is like, it's like a startup company, and you get in, you got lots of ideas, and you get in there, and you just go for it, and then you don't stick around to see whether it actually worked. And so I think I'm a kind of a team builder. So for me, it's like it takes a long time to get people on the on ramp, and then to watch them get into their lane. Sometimes it takes a little while. So I've really enjoyed every church I've been at. It's been over 10 years. So that's kind of
so awesome. Well, it does us great joy. I know these people, so many of them are still here that were here when we were here, and just to know that they're in unbelievably capable, wonderful leadership hands.
We may have to build a new wing, so we can the Tabor wing.
Well, he's generous and lavish with his praise.
I hear that. He's quite the man. We should. Can you? How's your checkbook? Did you?
He brought it. It's here. It's ready to go.
So, what has you fired up in ministry right now?
What's exciting me now this season in my life is watching kind of God do the things that we didn't plan on, or we didn't develop, or we didn't strategize about. And it's kind of coming out of COVID was kind of just an unsettling time, and just unsure. Are we going to do it? Are we going to make it? Are we going to survive? Are we going to take 10 steps back? So after coming out of all of that and just strategizing as a church plant, basically, and our pastor said we're going to swing for the fence, and if we miss, we'll pick the ball up and hit it again. But so watching all of that development and strategy that we had during COVID, saying this is what it's going to look like, to now be in a season where we're actually seeing the new growth and the new families and the babies, and just the excitement of all of that. And God's doing kind of some international things in our midst in the congregation, and it's just been awe-inspiring. It's kind of like God saying, okay, boys, now watch what I can do. And I love that. You don't get to plan on that.
That's so awesome.
That encourages me.
So you mentioned babies.
Yes.
So you and your wife, Lisa, you've been married how long?
It'll be 37 years.
Goodness. Oh, wow. 37 years.
Yeah.
And you just had another grandbaby.
We just on Wednesday, 5 days ago.
And you have another one.
Congratulations.
Coming right behind it.
Yes, we have a 2-year-old, and then we have a 5-day-old.
Okay. Do you make that request? Do you ask them to do them in pairs? You guys?
No, but my oldest, we took them on a cruise. So now they're pregnant, and so So we have that baby's coming in less than 90 days. So we're super excited for them and for us. And I don't know.
That's awesome.
God is good, and we're blessed. And,
amen.
That's awesome.
Trying to enjoy and soak in every moment we can. Life is short.
So Clint and I share a lot of the same passions.
Okay. Got it.
One of those is cooking.
All right. So he's a foodie.
Now
the grill master back here.
Well, but now Clint's food is a work of art. Clint's food is like a Lamborghini. My food is a Jeep.
A Jeep?
My food gets the job done. It's for getting around.
Okay.
But Clint's are like elegant looking, like they came out of a French pastry chef's kitchen. So has this always been a passion?
It's never really been, it's become more of a passion. But for me, I grew up in a home where we cooked. Mom, would take us to the grocery store and say, "Kids, you're gonna plan a meal, and so let's figure out what you're gonna eat." When she took us shopping, and she helped us cook it. But my dad was a mess sergeant, in military, so he was always in the kitchen. So it's just something I grew up with, and of course your grandmas always cook, and so I've always been around food, and then traveled a lot internationally. So food's always been part of my experience, and so I enjoy it. My wife likes to bake, and so she ends up doing a lot of that, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
I like to, and therein lies my problem.
We've identified the issue. Now we got to solve it, gentlemen.
But, so it's just fun. I just enjoy. I would rather be in the kitchen than in the center of the party.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
No, it's not weird at all.
I don't know. I
For
find
me,
more.
it's like a love language. It's
Yeah.
like how I care for people.
Yeah, exactly.
I love doing that.
And even in, I don't know, just my personality, I think most of the people on the platform, I think, in my experience, have tended to be more introverted.
Okay.
But I don't know, I'd rather, my wife, now she wants to be in the center of the party, but I'd rather be making sure everybody's fed well.
Yeah.
Yeah, big man.
I don't know, there's something about that sweet aroma. I was just looking in the Old Testament, there's a recipe that God gave for incense.
Oh, really?
You know, and you look in there, it's exactly, and it said, do not use this recipe for incense for anything other than to glorify God. So don't just burn it in your home or whatever.
Yeah.
But that incense is like the smoke is the continual praise and worship of God. And I love that when we can bring that into worship through a song of all things. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
Clint,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about this social media handle. I've heard it's called Big Boy Voice.
yes.
Is that accurate? I mean, it sounds like a challenge.
It is. So I have a classical background, and so once in a while, someone
every
would
once in a while.
ask, every once in a while, someone would ask, can you do this, or can you sing that in worship, or
Okay.
at a wedding, or I think I sang.
Sing at our wedding.
I used the big boy voice.
The big
at
boy
Brian's,
voice.
at Brian's wedding. But people would say, "Can you use your big boy voice and sing?" And so it kind of became a thing for a long time.
So, okay,
Alright, fair enough.
if you're watching this, get ready to have some vocal envy.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a man singing in this car
A
right
man.
now. So can
Alright.
you give us a little taste of the big boy voice?
Okay, putting me on the spot.
All right, let's do it. Do we need to roll the windows down? Or is the
No,
pressure
no,
going
no.
to be too much?
No, it's a small space.
All right.
Let's see. Liberame Domine de morte eterna in die la tremenda in die la quando cieli movendi sunt, quando cieli movendi sunt et terra, dum veneris judicare seculum in diem.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I love it, man.
Unbelievable.
I love
Now
it.
that was tongues, so we needed
That was speaking in
interpretation.
tongues.
Yeah,
It's
speaking
actually a 4A requiem, so it's a death mass.
Yes, the
that,
death
that
march.
the text is from, but yeah.
Oh, Clint.
But you can't use that very often.
No,
Unbelievable.
No. That is awesome. So my dad was so I went to Grand Canyon University, and I'm like fourth generation GCU, and my dad went for vocal performance, and he would have gotten a kick out of you
Oh,
because
my word.
he was a baritone as well.
Yeah.
As he put it, it was the men of the opera, because the tenors got to be the kind of pretty boys who would feign love and whatever, but the baritones got the job
That's
done. We
right.
were the ones who really were putting in the real work.
Doing work.
Yeah.
Doing work.
All
you
the
know.
cute ones were the tenors, and the men were in the basics.
Yeah, the baritones were the villains and the owners and the merchants. And that's awesome, man.
Yep, and the old guys.
And the old,
Yep.
yeah.
So back
Wise
in the 90s, this work came out.
Oratorio.
It's a modern oratorio called Savior, and it just rocked me as soon as I heard it. I took it home, I played it for my wife, and it starts off with a duet between God and Adam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kim was like, "This will open our wedding ceremony."
Oh wow.
And so Clint obviously took the role of God.
Of course, it's the bass.
With the big boy voice, yeah.
So you picked first.
It wouldn't have been a tenor.
It wouldn't have been a tenor.
And
That's love.
another friend of ours, Mark Clark, was the voice of Adam. the tenor
incredible
part.
singer. Yeah.
And it was just, we wrote an explanation of what was happening in the program, and it was just breathtaking. We
awesome.
watched our ceremony not long ago, and,
Okay.
and just heard, and that has developed a thing for you where you now are kind of around the country some doing Savior with other groups, and That's so cool.
As long as the voice will hold out, I'm gonna keep using it. But it's I don't get to use it real often, so it's kind of like dusting off an old Ford truck. But
I will say this: it doesn't sound like it's hanging on by a thread or anything like that.
It
sounds
fine,
like it's
sir.
it's
just fine.
Yeah.
Just leave some of the singing to the rest of us.
oh
okay?
man,
All right.
well, I'm glad there's something I can do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so we've obviously sung a song, and Brian picked it. I mean, what would you give it? Scale 1 to 10. I'd say like a 5.5.
The one that he picked? Yeah.
5.5. All right.
Just because there's history there.
Okay. So the 0.5 is.
And I like
being
Brian,
generous.
so I'll give him a.
All right, cool. Now you have picked 2 songs. We're about to do the first one of your 2.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Do you remember what you picked?
I think I do. I kind of did like a throwback, I think, and then maybe something a little bit more current. But
all right. Well, look, we're gonna play song number 1 and see how it sits with us.
My goodness. This is so good. I think the text is probably one of the best texts right now. Lyrics. It's important. All of it. Yeah. All the things.
Blessed assurance.
Remember.
Jesus is mine.
Yeah.
He's been my 4th man in the fire, time after time. Born of His Spirit, washed in His blood, and what He did for me on Calvary is more than enough. So I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never fail.
So sweet.
Perfect submission.
That's so important right there. And then
All is at rest.
gotta trust. Gotta trust.
'Cause I know the author of tomorrow.
So, question. You've been leading worship for a few years now.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Where do you feel like worship's headed? Because you've gotten to see some of the transition from hymns into what we call choruses,
Right.
into praise and worship.
Yeah.
And
Even a couple seasons of rap back
couple
there.
seasons. We don't talk about those seasons.
Those are the dark.
those are not. No. But I mean, what do you feel like you're kind of seeing or feeling? You feel like we're settling in this kind of worship area, or do you think that some things are shifting or changing?
I think what I'm enjoying right now, probably, I'm going to say maybe for me, it was kind of Gateway that triggered this, songs coming from the heart of the church, as opposed to songs just coming from an artist perspective, or a single vocal artist perspective of, this is a good song, I want to sing this on my next album.
Got it.
I'm seeing songs written that are inspired by like God's word through the teaching in the local churches. You know, you're seeing stuff like that. So it's coming out of a relevant moment in people's lives, not just, oh, I like that song, but, oh, I need to be reminded of that. And I think those are some of the aha moments that I'm really liking. I have a mentor that once told me we always need to stay connected to the hymns because they're the legacy. They're the generations of faith, you know, that have gone before us that we can lean on. They made it, and we can make it through this. The story of the hymns is there, but we have to have fresh conversations with God, just like we had with our wife over a good cup of coffee this morning. God wants those conversations. And so I think in the worship music industry right now is really coming on with just song after song. It's not just about the album, it's about worship songs. And so it used to be you could get an album and say 10 songs and maybe 1 or 2 you could pick up. But the rest of them were more performance driven. Where now it's like almost reverse. Most of the artists are now promoting and investing into the music that can be carried into the corporate worship. So I don't know, I'm kind of think we're in a really good place, but I don't want to lose track of the generational stories that we've got to stay anchored because it's not all about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I share this on every karaoke episode, but one of my favorite Bill Gaither quotes is, "We don't sing these songs just because they're old. We sing them because they survived.
They right.
And they survive for a reason."
Yeah.
And Bill once said too, he said, if the people need to sing the song, sing the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't make it about just what you like.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're serving the congregation, it's like if they need to sing this song and then sing it. Don't worry. Yeah. And I love that. As worship leader, we've got to be cognizant of what is going on in the room and who's actually there.
Yeah.
It's
one of the gentlemen we've had on the karaoke before, his name is Jordan Howerton, and he's at CCV in Phoenix, and he says that all of the songs they're writing are what they call prayers to the house.
Yeah,
you know,
that's beautiful.
And it kind of goes off of what you're saying of like, these are real conversations that you're having with God in this moment in time, and we just happen to be putting them to music and singing them as a congregation.
That's beautiful.
And I agree with that. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wow. So Clint, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
That's kind of what encourages you.
Yeah.
Are you, I mean, you've been around a long time doing this. Are you seeing anything that maybe if you were talking to a young leader, somebody who's just starting out, that might be cautionary, or that might be like, here's a foundation you want to get taken care of early in your ministry?
Oh, there's so many. There's a lot of things about being an artist or a musician that everything that we do, at some level, maybe we're seeking some affirmation. And I think that if we can check that at the door as a worship leader, because that's not why we're taking the platform. Notice I said platform and not stage.
Exactly.
But we take the platform to lead God's people in worship, to minister to God. And so I think as a young worship leader, I would say, don't worry about the affirmations. Don't worry about people noticing you.
Right.
Because it's almost better if they don't.
Oh, yeah.
And you will have much more longevity. I heard, I think it's about what we do gets us our job.
Right.
And what we know helps us keep our job.
Right.
But what we do and know, and then who we are, is where the longevity comes in. So I think some of those pieces are missing. If you're looking for a career, a lifelong service to the church through worship, then I think there's some of those things, if you can struggle with early and get them packed away so that they're not at the forefront of your purpose, it will really help push you forward and make life a lot more meaningful in the long run.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Well, in order to make this a more meaningful time,
look at that transition.
You like that
Did you see
segue?
that? Ooh, smooth.
So on the podcast, we have a segment called "What's in the Glove Box." And
no.
This is fun because Brian, so it's not an animal, a vegetable, or a mineral. Correct?
It has not ever been alive.
It's never been alive.
It's not a person.
It's not going to bite you. But it will be something that you're going to thoroughly enjoy. I can tell.
Okay.
And we wanted to challenge you.
So is it okay? It's not a what?
Animal, vegetable, or mineral.
You don't have to eat it.
You don't have to eat it.
Yeah. It's not Fear Factor.
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can be afraid. That's okay.
I can be afraid.
Okay. So we're going to ask you to pop that glove box open. There's a little button on the left here. And if you just push that in, receive your prize. So now here's the deal. You can. There's 2 instruments in there, and Brian has 2 hands free. So you can choose to have Brian play either of these instruments. So we have a triangle and a slide whistle.
I even know how to use a triangle. You put this little doohickey on there.
Oh, perfect. The doohickey, is that the official name?
I knew where to put the doohickey.
All right.
And there you go.
Oh, I'm slide whistling.
All right.
You're slide whistling? All right. So
I heard Brian's got skills.
Brian does have skills.
See, there they
Pay
are.
the bills. All right, so Brian,
Yes,
you are slide whistling,
Yeah.
and how many years have you been slide whistling?
This is year one.
Debut?
actually, yeah.
Debut?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
your
debut.
professional debut?
Professional.
And we had Corey Miller from Red Rocks Worship slide whistling in
so
season
no
3.
pressure.
And there's tremendous amount of pressure.
The bar has been set.
Yeah, it was set very, very high.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And I love that Daniel drives on these because I see parts of our city that I've never seen before.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
And I have
isn't it?
This
no
is
idea where we
gorgeous.
are.
Yeah.
I don't even know where
It's
we're at,
beautiful.
but I'm gonna
Yeah.
like turn around because this is so much
beautiful.
fun. All right, so in order to now, you picked 2 songs. We heard the first one, which was
Okay.
great.
Okay.
By the way, congratulations. Like
All
if
right.
Brian's was a 5.5, you were a 9.5.
That was
Oh man, I'm scoring good.
You stuck the landing. You did that
Nice.
triple Lutz, and it was
Nice.
phenomenal.
Does that mean what do they say? I'm lit?
You're
You're
lit.
lit, right?
You're lit.
Is that
got
how the
the
kids
riz.
go now?
You got the
Kids
riz.
say it.
Okay.
You're lit. So we are going to do your second song though, and now you
All
get
right.
to triangle to it. So
Okay.
I hope it's triangle forward.
It's interesting to see which one you guys.
I'm hoping it's a triangle forward song. So I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a worship category?
Should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's an up tempo.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Wait, we got to hear this line first. The most important line of the song. Right here it is.
Beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you.
Now we can come.
Okay, there we go. Now we can.
And here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God.
Not bad, Brian.
You're
A little pitchy dog.
altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
It's such a great song. And the bridge of this song.
King of all days,
This is like turn of the century, man.
exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created. All for love's sake became born. And here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. I'll
The triangle work.
Was it
I
work?
did.
Was
I
it
feel
on-
like
on
Christopher
pitch?
Walken could have come in and been like, more cowbell!
More cowbell.
Very tasteful.
I was kind of hoping for a
It was
cowbell.
tasteful. Brian, we may want to rethink the slide whistle.
Yeah, it's a little disruptive.
It's a little, especially with the song. We may want to like
It's not
pair
the most worshipful instrument there is.
I feel like if we had picked like a violin for you, Brian, maybe
Yeah.
that would have been a little bit more over the top.
Could've
How are
been.
you on violin?
If you can believe this,
Oh, no.
I would actually be worse at violin than I am at slide whistle. So.
Bagpipes.
Bagpipe.
There you
Ooh.
go.
Because you can put them up
There you
on
go.
the sunroof. And
That's right.
I'm a pretty convinced any stringed instrument, like when you first hear those kids learning it, it's the
bad.
most painful concert you could ever be invited
yeah, I can speak
to.
from experience. You're
like, oh,
it's
there-
rough for the first year or two.
Oh, there's a recital? Are there violins there? Oh, I'm so
Is anyone
sorry.
else going to be playing?
Yeah. I'm getting a root canal at my dentist. All right. Well, Clint, you're a good sport. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, is triangle usually on the rotation for surface, or you have a perk
You
player?
know, I don't recall ever. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
We had the perk player. We had the congas.
Yeah.
Like the guy with the fish. The
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Is there anything that any era in worship ministry that you've lived that you miss?
Oh yeah. Good question.
Sometimes I do miss. Just because I always felt like I was a force to be reckoned with in worship, worship is the big choir.
Oh yeah.
And not just to sing the high notes and all the stuff, but the passionate, sing from your gut, throw back your head and let it fly kind of worship choir. I miss that, and I hope the pendulum swings back to that, because it's a place for people to participate, because no one sits the bench in the choir, you know?
No.
And so everybody's needed. Everybody can work in the choir. You know, you just put 2 singers on either side of the bad singer, and they can still make it work.
You can pair people, like you could have the strong person in the center and pair some people that need some assistance, and that whole group becomes better.
I think, Brian, even when you were starting out, the rule of thumb was like you wanted to have 10 to 20% of your attendance
in your choir,
in your room on the platform.
That's awesome.
And it just was like in your face worship. It was just beautiful.
Those choir orchestra, people used to always ask me, what do you love about your job? And I was like, well, lots of stuff, but one of the things I really love is like Easter Sunday, I got the best seat in the house, man. I got choir and orchestra on one side, I got congregation on the other side. Everybody comes with expectations on Easter, and most of them participate. I totally agree. I miss that. I miss that.
And I think I miss it because it's of the participation piece, not necessarily the style of the 90s, you know, or whatever, because there are a lot of places in the 90s are still alive and well. But for like the current, like I said, conversation in worship, I would, man, can you imagine 100 voices behind you
and trusting God
and featuring them in just moments of, you know, I just think it'd be beautiful to hear, because we enjoy hearing the congregation sing back, you know.
Well, so my wife is absolutely in love with CeCe Winans right now. We were actually just talking about this, but like her new album with the choir.
She's opening the door to a genre that I think a lot of people weren't prepared for.
Well, and I remember being a part of this in a creative meeting. This was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm in a creative meeting. My senior pastor goes, you know, I just feel like we need to do something different. You know, maybe we should do a choir. And I'm like, wait a second.
We've been doing
we got rid of the robes and the choir stuff like 8 years ago, and now we want to do something different. We're going to pull the choir out. Okay,
make it work. Make it work, buddy. Make it work.
So maybe the pendulum does shift back. I would be all for that.
Oh, but let's talk about CeCe Winans, man. That voice. Oh my goodness.
It's like
what a gift.
Going to church every song.
Yes, it is.
And I mean, I'm used to hearing her sing for decades, but man, when I think Goodness of God was the first, like, make your mark on where we are right now in the church worship music. And when oh my goodness, so good.
And her Holy Forever is just like,
that's brilliant. Well, isn't it Chris Tomlin's?
We all borrowed it.
But we all
so no, very, very cool.
Oh man,
so good.
What a rich conversation. I love your heart, and I love so much about you.
Thank you.
So on our podcast, we end every interview with the same question.
Okay.
Ooh.
And on karaoke, since we're mobile, we call it the big bus question.
Big bus question.
Oh my goodness.
So, like,
you get to be a conductor.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, for you, somebody with the breadth of experiences that you've had, if we could get all the worship leaders and all their volunteers, all the production folks and all their volunteers, got them all together, we're on a big bus somewhere, and we gave you that microphone at the front, what would you want to say to them about what we do in the local church?
I'm going to go back to our strengths as musicians first, that we can't make it about our strength. So we're all going to have our own thing that we're really good at. But I kind of equate it to food. I can cook a good dish and know pretty much everybody's going to really, really like it. But tomorrow they're going to want something different. And so that's why I think I kind of go with the approach of like, if you're a good chef and you want to have a good restaurant that's going to stay open for a long time, you surround yourself with good sous chefs that can fix all the dishes that you don't know how to make. You know what I mean? Bill Gaither's done the same thing. Spent his entire career gathering talent around him that can do what he can't and lifting them up. And so for me, as a worship long-timer, we're going in my 4th decade. Surround yourself and invest in the people that can do what you can't, and let them do it and get out of the way. If you have to have the mic, you're in the wrong place.
Oh, man.
And Brian, you have a saying that you always use about that, about, what is it?
Yeah, my thing has always been like, you got to know the way, you
Yeah.
got to point the way, and then get out of the way.
Well, that's good.
And not get in God's way, you know. I mean, you got to let him do what he's going to do. And I love letting the people that he's put around you do what he's gifted them to do.
Let them shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nowadays they forget the third part about getting out of the way. It's like, I know the way, and I'm pointing the way, and wait, don't look at the other way. Look at me, I'm pointing the way.
Oh my goodness.
Versus getting out of that way. So.
Yeah, it can be real humbling as, you know, someone who's got the artist heart and that's got that gift that they want to share and to not have your moment.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to enjoy someone else's moment as much or more than your own.
And what I appreciate about you is the longevity piece. And like you said, I think early on, you're like, hey, you know, I've been here 12, 13 years or whatnot, and every church job I've been at least a decade or more.
Right.
And about the team building piece of it, like we've been talking, you know, personally, and it's just like there's so much that happens when you invest long term in a situation. Like there's so much mentorship, and there's ups and there's downs and there's struggles and there's pushing through those struggles, and you learn so much over time. And to your point about building a team, I mean, in 2 or 3 years, I think the average person will take a job and they'll leave in 2 years, 3 years or something like that. 2 or 3 years is just about to get sick with the person you're working side by side with, and then be forced to kind of figure it out. And then iron sharpens iron, and you end up really learning a lot about yourself and learning about who God created you. And
You really do.
so I really respect the fact that you kind of emphasize that longevity. That's amazing to me.
Thanks.
I love
and
it.
I know a lot of guys, it's not their calling to do it for a long time. It's just that season that they're in, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful to be able, in my life, to be able to look back and go, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
They're still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
beautiful. And I don't know, God's good and faithful, and if we just let him do what he needs to do in our heart and pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to grin and bear some things.
Right.
But the seasons change, and you will see the other side of some of the harder things.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's revealing that you don't belong anymore, or you'll feel a disconnect, or I feel something stirring and it's time for me to go on somewhere else. But for the most part, I think work on who you are.
Yeah.
And if you're tired, you need to find something to bring you some joy. Pick up a side hustle, pick up a hobby, pick up something that will bring some life into your weariness. And you'll be surprised the supercharge that happens when you do something that you're passionate about. Because God created us.
Oh yeah.
He created our joy, our passion, our adrenaline, all those things. And so go do that and get good at it. Whether it's cooking or bowling or jumping out of an airplane with a parachute or whatever it is. Find
Slide
something.
whistle.
Slide whistle.
Slide whistle.
Get good at it.
Well, that's what we need. We need a T-shirt that says "Go do that, get good at it."
There you go.
Clint Dunn.
There you go.
Big boy voice.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You guys crack me up.
Oh, Brian, this is awesome.
Isn't this a good dude, man?
This is a good dude.
I love you guys. And again, on behalf of all of us that are out there doing it, having you guys connect us together, sometimes it's very disconnecting and competitive. But it's good to have you guys there and bringing us together and having these important conversations. It's good. We're all okay.
We're all okay.
We're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
Absolutely.
As long as we don't have the slide whistle and the triangle thrust upon us on a Sunday morning, we'll be good. So, all right, guys,
Appreciate you.
thank
Love
you,
you, Brian.
This has been another episode of Worship Karaoke, and Brian, it's been awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need to do this again.
Yes, we do.
We need to have Clint back on.
Yes, we do.
All right, cool. Well, guys, if you loved Worship Karaoke, loved this episode, please subscribe and watch our YouTube. We have more and more episodes of this coming. Clint, you were amazing to have on this. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're generous.
Oh, well, generous, and we are lavish in our praise. Is that what we said? Yeah, very generous with our words, lavish in our praise.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we will see you next time. Peace.
Deuces.
You got to say something fun. Oh, you did the peace. Fingers.
Or what was the thing you guys used to...
Oh. Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you guys. Bye.